All right. Well, I'm here with my friends from Victory Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You guys are my neighbors, you're my friends, and you have a brand new project called Faith. That's what I want to talk about today with you guys. Paul, tell me tell me about this new project. What spurred it on, and how does it relate to the life of your church right now?
Yeah, totally. Well, I was talking with Sam and with Lamar and our team probably in January of this year. And I said, hey, I really feel like we need to write songs that are going to stir our church up with faith. And we had already written, probably five or six that we were singing in church. And they said, what's the vision for this? I said, I feel like we need to do 3 nights of just revival services where we record original worship songs that are part of the pandemic, what our church decided to do during the pandemic, and just rising up, stirring up a spirit of faith, and challenging churches out there to carry a heart of faith in a world full of fear about the virus, fear about shutting down, fear about death. That we would lift up an anthem of faith. And so the team, Sam was writing a lot, Lamar, Jackson, Daniel, the Roseanne, Jeremiah, all the team members just started writing, and we ended up with 21 songs that we recorded, which was more than we anticipated. But so we released part of that back in August, and the other 10 or 11 come out this next month.
Well, I mean, it's not like we need faith in this time in our existence. It's not like there's panic all over the place, and our show goes around the world. And one thing I love about Victory is how many different countries and nationalities are represented by Victory. And Lamar, I've gotten to know you over the
Yeah.
last year or so, and tell me about your experience coming to Victory and being a part of this worship team.
Yes. So I think it's such a privilege. I've traveled to many places around America, many churches, but I honestly have not found a place like Victory that just allows the presence of God and loving people to be a priority, and loving all people. And I think loving people can look like, sympathizing with people, but loving people can also look like allowing them to have leadership positions and serve with you and just be a part of what the church is all about. And so that's one thing that I found here at Victory, with, coming as a student first to Victory College and being trained under, Pastor Paul and amazing leaders. And then just being given an opportunity to actually walk out the call of God in my life, coming from Uganda. I think that's just amazing that it's not just about what's happening here in America, but Victory is passionate about what's happening around the world, and gives people around the world an opportunity to be a part of the vision. So I think that's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Paul, when you took over the church, obviously there's a different flavor to what you bring as lead pastor, and your vision of the arts and music. Tell me how music plays a role in the journey of Victory Church right now.
Yeah. Well, before I was pastor, I used to be a worship leader for a long time. And I led worship from when I was in like 8th grade all the way up until even now. Like, even stepping in as pastor, I felt like the Lord was like, keep on using that gift of worship and music, and don't lose that. And my brother, he's very gifted in like productions, plays, writing scripts and short films. And so he's kind of really ran with that vision in our church. But I really laid down my gift of songwriting when my father passed, and I just kind of stopped writing songs, stopped really pushing our church to that. But I always wanted our worship team to write songs. I just wasn't as into it until the pandemic. And that first week when we were up on the roof, it was like something lit a fire in me, like, Paul, you've got to start writing again. You got to start singing again. And Sam was working on a song that was called Kings and Queens. And I was like, man, I've got an idea for that. And Michael Letney was part of that. And then from there, it was just like song after song just started releasing. And I told our worship team, this is the time for us to really light that fire of songwriting, worship, finding our sound, and finding as a church, what is our message that we're trying to sing to the world and to our church.
Sam, is there a particular song on this project that you feel like is the cornerstone, maybe the idea that the rest of these songs wrap around?
Man, I don't want to say my song, but also I kind of feel like with it being 3 nights of faith and just Victory being like, we're a faith-filled church, and not faith in the sense of like, oh, nothing bad is going to happen, because Victory has walked through things that a lot of people, Victory's walked through some hard things. But through all of it, there's been such a spirit of faith and a spirit of hope. So the song By Faith, you helped write it, Daniel helped write it. It's one of the songs, it's like, oh man, if we could say something to the world, it's like, doesn't matter what you see, doesn't matter what you're walking through. Like, we have faith, and it's eternal, and it's a kingdom mindset faith. It's not what's happening in my circumstances, but it looks higher, and it looks above, and it looks beyond. So for me personally, that song, By Faith, which is we named the album. Yeah, we named the first album Faith. The second album, is it okay to say what the second one will be?
Yeah.
The second one will be Promises. So Faith and Promises. And that's from the scripture
Hebrews 6 verse 12, that says, by faith and patience, our ancestors inherited the promises of God. And so, when we were writing these songs, I was like, people need to know that faith is not just a feeling, not just something that we hope for, but that there are promises that we are going to see come to pass in our life. And one of those was a girl in our church was dying. Literally, she coded on the table, pronounced dead. And we put her testimony on the album. When you listen to the Faith album, you hear this resurrection testimony. She was dead in the hospital. I went and visited the hospital, sat with her husband and her parents, and they were like preparing for the funeral. But they said, can we still pray for a miracle? And they started talking about Lazarus. And I was like, I walked through the loss of my father. And I honestly was like, my faith is there, but I'm also trying to help be a pastor and get people to accept grief and loss and pain. And miraculously, this girl started breathing again, started kicking her leg, got up from the hospital table. They said she'd be a vegetable the rest of her life. Not only is she walking and singing and dancing, she's teaching in our school. She has her complete brain and memory functioning 100%. And it's a miracle, So we use that testimony in the album to just remind people faith is not just someday when we get to heaven, we're going to see the promised land, but even here on earth, we're going to see God's promises come to pass.
That's awesome. When I come to and hang around you guys at Victory, I sense life and joy, and that there's a spirit of God is doing more than you can actually see right now. You feel that momentum that's happening now at Victory. And Sam, I want to stay with you on this. Not only is there lots of life at Victory, there's a ton of talent. I mean, you guys are loaded and blessed with so much talent, especially with ORU right across the street. How do you manage all of that talent, all of that influx of songwriting and people who want to be a part of what you're doing?
Yeah. Well, I think managing it, I would say one of the biggest things as a worship leader, if we're all just being honest, you can't be afraid of new talent, and you can't be afraid of better talent, because there's a lot of people who walk in that I'm like, wow, they're better than I am. That's for sure. And it's evident. And I think when you trust God with your position and your place, then the Lord will show you how to steward these people and raise these people up. But a huge thing at Victory is that we would not just focus on talent, that there would be heart behind, especially when we're leading worship, So as talented as people are, if they're not willing to serve and be faithful to a ministry or to the church, or, people are walking through things, I love that we walk through things with people. that as they're growing in their talent and their abilities, that we're not forsaking the heart issues, that we're, we have a heart to see people flourish, not only in their giftings and their abilities, but in their ministries and in the things that God has put on the inside of them. I think something that's really cool is that we do have a lot of songwriters. And something that's funny is even how we said we had these 21 songs, I think there was probably like 30 something songs submitted. And every single track was like, people love to worship. So it's like 8-minute tracks. And we're listening through these 8-minute tracks and it's like, oh, wow, this is very long. And so as we're listening to all of these, like, it's amazing that our team is coming up with such amazing songs, but there's even people in the house that like didn't even get to be used. To be honest with you, there's songs that we still are wanting to record. Like there's just an overflow of songs that we want to put out. There's a list on my board right now that's like, okay, next this, next that, next this. And so we're still catching up with older songs that have been written while keeping up with new songs that are being written. So it's very fun, but it also can be a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, because there is pressure to steward people's songs and people's giftings. And so I just rely on the Lord that it's like, let's all have good hearts about it. It's not about us. If we can just continue with what we're doing and it never becoming about us, then we'll all be all right. But the moment it becomes about us, then creeps in offense, then creeps in frustration. But when we hold even our songs really open-handed, then we're okay with how they're used and what gets sung and what doesn't get sung and who leads what song. I'm sure that you understand all of that kind of stuff. But it can be a process for sure.
And there's this happens at every level. The worship leaders that will listen to this and maybe watch this video are thinking to themselves, well, I wish I had talent like that. Well, think of all the things that I could do if I had all the talent and resources that Victory has. But the thing is, God gives us exactly what we're supposed to have in the moment. And you are judged on how you handle those things that you're given, whether small or great. And, I just want to commend you guys for, what I see personally that's happening with you guys in worship and how you're stewarding the people and the people that I'm around. Lamar, I want to know about your songwriting process. And how do you decide where you're going with a song? And pitching a song can be difficult, can be one of those things where you don't want your ideas to get shot down, or you don't, there's a little bit of pressure in that. People who've never written songs don't understand the fear of rejection for a songwriter. How have you gotten over that, and how do you prepare yourself to present songs that God's put on your heart?
Yeah. So first of all, kind of my songwriting process. I love to write from my own just times that I spend with Jesus. A lot of my songs have come out of just sitting at the piano, or just in my quiet time, just singing out to Jesus, and then song ideas will come out of that. Sometimes I'll have like a melody line or a word, or just a few words, and then I build up on that. So it really depends on what season I'm in, or what's happening in my life at the time. But I really like what Sam said about kind of coming to submit your songs with open hands, and being just open to what this song was meant to, what the purpose of this song was, because the songs come from Jesus. And so when you come with an open hand and you're saying, God, this is your song anyway. Mm-hmm. So when I submit it, it belongs to you. And whatever happens, I trust my leaders. I trust the Holy Spirit in them. If they change a lyric, if they change a melody line, it's not anything personal. It's because they want the best for the house and they want the best for the song. And if the song doesn't get sang now, maybe it's not for this season. There's songs that I've submitted that, haven't been put on any album yet. And then there's songs that I wrote in a day that were recorded. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that one got put, got recorded. And this one has been sitting around for the last few months. And I've kind of just told myself, or I feel like the Holy Spirit has helped me kind of know that it's about seasons. It all belongs to him, and to trust the season, to trust my leaders. I actually am kind of the opposite. When I submit a song, I want as many suggestions as possible, because I'm like, I'm surrounded by such talented people. They're going to have better ideas. They're going to give me ideas that maybe I missed when I was writing the song, melody lines that I wouldn't have thought of. So I'm kind of like, yes, shoot it down, or, add things to it. Like, it always makes me so happy when people are bought into a song and want to give suggestions and want to help me write. So yeah, that's kind of my process.
That's good.
That's awesome. Paul, I want to wrap this up with you. And I know you've touched on this at the beginning of our conversation, but let's go back to this one more time. What do you want people to take away from this new release? And tell me, what does this do to push your message forward as a church?
Yeah, I think we want people to release fear and worry, and that when they listen to these songs, that their hearts are filled with courage and faith and joy. Lamar and Sam have a song on there called "Song That My Soul Sings," and when I listen to different songs like that one, the fast songs, "Unforgettable Love," "All I Want to Do Is Praise Jesus," it makes me joyful. It makes me want to sing, makes me want to whistle. It makes me like I'm happy, and it makes me feel like we're releasing songs that aren't just slow and put you to sleep, but we're releasing songs that are also like fun, that my kids ask for, like Liam and Benny. They're like, let's listen to, "All I Want to Do Is Praise Jesus." But then the slow songs, they really do minister to the soul. Like, I walked into one of our kids' classrooms at the school here this last week, and they were listening to Sam's song "By Faith." And then they were listening to "No Need to Fear." And I'm watching them sing these songs, and like kids are like getting on their knees and they're putting their hands on their head, and they're going, "I've not been given a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind." And I'm like, yes, I want kids. A man reached out to me this last week and said, his mom is in the hospital and she's been battling cancer, and she's in her 70s, and she's listened to our Faith album on repeat. And he said, when she listens to it, it ministers to her soul. It helps her not feel the pain in the hospital. And she's been in tremendous pain, but he said the album has been ministering to her so much and just helping her get through. She's listening to, "When I Speak Your Name," "Isn't He Faithful," and all these different songs. And so that's my prayer, is that when people listen to it, that they get better in their spirit, that they feel more encouraged, feel more joyful, release depression, worry, fear, and that something changes as they're listening to Victory Worship. That's
awesome. Sam, before we go, tell me where everyone can find the project and websites. How can people get more Victory Worship in their lives?
Are you laughing because I don't know?
Or whoever knows.
You can follow us on social media, which is
Victory Worship, at Victory Worship.
At Victory Worship, but I think it might be _ I need to get that for you, actually.
It's at _ Victory Worship. And Victory Worship is on Apple Music and Spotify. If they just type in Victory Worship or Victory Tulsa, they can find it all there.
YouTube too.
It's on YouTube. If they go to our website, victory.com, there's a link that says Faith Album right here. Click on it, and they can get it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, at victory.com.
Great. Charts, anything like that? If churches want to do your songs, where do they find the charts and lyrics?
We're on multi-tracks. We're on multi-tracks, and we're on like Planning Center. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
All there, huh?
Yeah, we're on all of it.
Great. Love it.
Yeah. And
awesome.
then I don't know if you can do this, but if there's any worship leaders who need help with anything or have questions, I feel feel free to email us at worship@victory.com.
Yeah.
We would love to help. We don't want to be like an island of our own. We really want to help
with people.
Yeah. And collab with people, all of the above. Worship@victory.com. We would love for be in touch with other worship leaders and other churches.
That's awesome. Guys, thank you so much. Love what you're doing there. Love your music, and look forward to what you're going to do in the future.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Andy.
Andy.